And knowledge-intensive companies are flocking to a key innovation hub in Woodlands as a headquarters for product development, as JTC intensifies efforts to transform such spaces and enhance access to Malaysia. The demand for more flexible industrial areas is poised to grow, especially with the gateway to the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone in sight. Nasyrah Rohim reports.
Maybe fall in the same city.
Setting up shop in Woodlands North Coast or WNC makes it easier for this toys and games distributor to access the Malaysian market and manpower. But that's not the only draw for Play Nation. The two founders wanted to test drive the flexible land use guidelines in WNC, especially for product development. In 2017, URA and JTC announced that 70% of the space can be used for high value-added activities. JTC said 2/3 of the companies in the building are already tapping into WNC's unique position that anchors Singapore's northern gateway to Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone.
I kind of see that in the future, Singapore will develop and have a lot of enterprises like us. We will retain a lot of HQ function here, retain a lot of the office function here, but we'll probably outsource a lot of the manufacturing, the operations. I feel like there's going to be increasing need for industrial spaces to convert to this.
The space in this research lab can be customized to suit different users and their needs. For startups, the shared space is just right for flexi-work arrangements and networking with larger firms. Flexibility was the top priority for developer Hobie Land with this space in One North.
Some of them are talking about a hybrid work arrangement. How can we provide such flexibility for them to do their research, at the same time having collaboration areas for them to meet up with other industry players to share ideas, to be able to generate more ideas for their respective research.
Developing new ideas and new technology can take a lot of time. That's why knowledge-intensive firms are not just looking for the right space, but also enough time to see the fruits of their labour. Now, according to a report on business competitiveness that was out late last year, they're looking for a longer lease term on industrial land.
Extending the lease tenure was so that companies have more time to recoup the investment costs. This was something that was highlighted by a lot of companies that we engaged with. The other thing is that R&D and digital transformation are very expensive exercises, and those also need a longer payback period for companies to find it viable to invest in those sort of initiatives.
He adds that this will further encourage productivity and innovation, making Singapore an attractive and future-proof proposition for subsequent investments.
And balancing land use in Singapore with the demands of firms is not an easy task, especially with climate change concerns and competition across the border. For JTC, that means developing industrial spaces 10 to 15 years in advance to meet future needs. Nasyrah Rohim sat down with JTC to find out how it is planning to overcome challenges and stay ahead.
With more firms looking at the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone, especially those in innovative and R&D sectors, how will Singapore remain competitive in this space?
We are aware that the way manufacturing companies may choose to operate in Singapore may be quite different. It is still a vital sector, but with the collaboration between Singapore and Malaysia in the SEZ, they have the option to move some of their facilities within Malaysia for certain advantages that they would like to tap on. In Singapore, because we have some of our strengths where we are transparent, we have stability, and we have IP protection structures, we will hope that some of the companies who need to leverage on these strengths will continue the relevant parts of their activities in Singapore. And so some of the companies that may choose to stay in Singapore could be those that they want to create, innovate, test bed new ideas or new products before they bring it to the production and assembly plant. And it also could have activities in Singapore where they feel it's still important to connect back to the rest of their ecosystem, their clients or their subcontractors that are still in Singapore. and also potentially where they still need the talent in Singapore to run their activities. So that's where we hope that Singapore can still play that supporting role for them so that they can grow their companies and provide the good jobs.
What are some of JTC's priorities moving forward?
We must be able to translate our plans to reality. So in JTC, that's one of the things that we will review because JTC has a very unique role of being a master planner and a developer and a landowner and a partner to industries. We actually have functions that cover the whole chain of a typical built environment cycle, from planning to construction to facilities management and eventually to redevelopment. That closed loop is important so that we make sure that our estates can be functioning well. The other thing that we'll ensure is to continue having the necessary live-work-play elements in estates that can accommodate that kind of cleaner industrial activities.
What are some of the biggest opportunities and challenges for industrial land planning?
There will be less vacant land and greenfield estates where we can box up and build and start fresh. We will have to move into redeveloping existing estates. And that's important because we also want to rejuvenate, upgrade the place together with the infrastructure, with the other agencies. In the past 10 plus years, we have started the rejuvenation in bits and pieces. We developed some of the vacant land to bring in new companies. We also built our new developments there, like Timac and Kranji Green, that is near the waterfront, so that the existing companies can choose to move into the buildings. Those buildings are for the woodwork and steel work companies. We will then move on into the next phase of getting the infrastructure upgraded with the relevant agencies, including making sure that this estate is able to handle future challenges such as climate change, rising sea levels. And so Sungai Kado is one of our estates that we will continue to rejuvenate and to bring in the companies so that they can grow and so that they can continue to have that ecosystem with their partners in that same district.